the Citizenship by Investment program and the idea of leveraging citizenship for investment started right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. 1984, 39 years ago, was when we gave the world that idea. Since then, you have had Canada. Sometimes my Canadian friends get upset with me because I tell them, I say, as much as you're all talking, Canada had a program designed to attract wealthy Hong Kong Chinese to Vancouver. That's why so many of them moved and settled there when Canada realized that Hong Kong was moving from British rule back to Chinese rule. You would recall, members of the press, that Hong Kong was under British rule for, I believe, 100 years. When it went back to China, the date was known, Canada decided this is a good way to attract all of those wealthy Hong Kong Chinese, tell them come to Canada. And they responded positively. You go to Vancouver, British Columbia, a lot of Hong Kong Chinese there. To the point where even Canadians were complaining, say, how the property prices went up so significantly for them because these persons were coming in. You look at England. You think that all those Russian oligarchs that ended up in the wealthiest neighborhoods in London, the neighborhoods in London that attract these wealthy people. You have people like Abramovich, who owned, I believe, was Manchester City, if memory serves. Manchester City or United? Manchester City. Abramovich, I think, had owned. Oh, no, it's not Manchester City. Chelsea. Forgive me. You see, I'm not a football fan, so I wouldn't know. Chelsea. So Abramovich owned Chelsea, Russian oligarch. These things aren't by accident. These are deliberate government strategies to attract investors and investment to the shores of England. So how come England can do it, Canada can do it? Portugal developed a citizenship by investment program. Cyprus, Malta, all of those had programs. St. Kitts and Nevis gave the world the idea. Then Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Antigua and Barbuda started. All of a sudden, it's the worst thing in the world, and we are the worst people in the world. Think about it. There's a certain hypocrisy that attends a lot of this. And so I feel, members of the press and members of the public, it is for us to shape our own narrative. And when they come and they start to tell us, oh, this is bad, you ask them, why is it bad? They said 20,000 passports were issued or something like that in St. Kitts and Nevis. I think it's 27,000 was the number I saw. They didn't say when. Was it in the last year, 5 years, or since the program started? We don't know, because the reports I saw in the English press didn't say. But I looked quickly, and within the European Union, over 800,000 citizenships are granted every year in the EU. Over 800,000 per year are granted. Do we dare tell them that they're giving out too many citizenships and that poses some kind of problem? They would tell us that we're out of place. But they are willing to tell us that we can't give out this number of citizenships. And I just feel that we need to sometimes stand up, respectfully, of course, but to say that is a false narrative that you're spreading. And you yourselves have benefited from investment where you have leveraged your residency or your citizenship and tell people come. The United States has a program, a lot of people don't know about it, called an EB-5 visa program, where if you can say to America, I can come in, I'm going to invest X amount of dollars, and I'm going to employ, I think, a minimum of 10 people, you get residency in the United States. A lot of people don't know that. You get residency in the United States, and after 5 years of residency, you get your US passport. We need sometimes to have a broad conversation when we start to hear the talk about how many passports and whatever. It's sensationalism. And members of the press, I'm not one to criticize, but there are some people in St. Kitts and Nevis masquerading as media. They're not really media. They should just tell themselves and say what they are. They are political propagandists. And I have no difficulty being a political propagandist. I wish I had some working for me. Say who you are, because when you masquerade as media, you give the unsuspecting consumer the impression that what you're saying is unbiased, unvarnished news. It is not. And I have been shocked to see that some of these reports attacking our CBI program have been parroted and sent around here in St. Kitts and Nevis as if it's good news, it's manna from heaven. Right? Like people who, what do they call them? Frightened. They're just sending anything around, happy that somebody somewhere is saying something bad about the CBI program. And I am going from this rostrum today. Don't want to get too political. But I'm going to say this, that the CBI program has been a critical tool for the development of St. Kitts and Nevis in the past 15 years at least, and certainly since its inception. Successive governments have used the proceeds of the CBI program for the development of this country. And I dare any political party or political organization out there, whether in or out of government, whether in government or vying to get into government, to tell the public, when we mash up the CBI program, what will be the alternative? How do we replace 52% of the national revenue overnight? Because if you can't do that, then it means that there are some things like CBI that all of us should be working to protect. Now, I have my own problems in Nevis. I don't feel that Nevis gets its fair share. And it takes me to the next question, because it's a matter that we are continuing to work on. Prime Minister and I, in fact, are supposed to meet this week. And we are continuing to work on that issue of Nevis getting a fair shake and a fair share, not only from CBI, but from everything else that the country has to offer. Because we are equal citizens in the country, entitled to the equal fruits of our citizenship. We're not second-class people because we happen to be born in Nevis or live in Nevis. And oh, if we move from Nevis and we move to Bastia, we get better treatment, we get better access. No. But I have pointed out that since Dr. Drew has been Prime Minister, the programs that he has set out, flowing from the Citizenship by Investment, have also benefited the people in Nevis. We had the double salary was his first thing that he did. I believe it was last year. And the people of Nevis benefited. That was the public servants. He then did not one but two dividends from CBI. The people of Nevis benefited. He has done the back-to-school voucher. The people of Nevis benefited. And he has lately done the $1,000 payment for those who are in good standing with Social Security. Again, the people of Nevis benefited. I say that because we have, when we look at the context of our Nevisians benefiting, to look at it in the round. It can't just be how much money the government gets, because if the people of Nevis, and that has always been my argument, that the people of Nevis must be able to benefit from the full fruits of their citizenship. And I have said publicly, and I say it now again, I commend that approach. But we have to be careful in our country, members of the press, not to allow a narrative from outside to be used by us to destroy a goose that has been laying that golden egg for us for a while. Some say that CBI has a limited shelf life, that it is going to somehow wither and go away. I counter by saying it has existed in St. Kitts and Nevis now for nigh 40 years. It has outlasted a lot of other industries that have come and gone. And rather than us predicting doom and gloom, what we should be doing is galvanizing our collective will and our collective intellect, that same intellect that created it in the first place, to see how we can manage it and ensure that it has greater longevity. That, to my mind, is where our efforts should be expended.